Hello, I'm your superhero critic. Now that my summer of Disney is done, I've decided I'm going to take the time and dedicate this month to one of my favorite superheroes of all time, the one, the only, Spider-Man. So, without further ado, or any other intros needed because there isn't any, I'm going to start with the very first Spider-Man movie. The very first one in the Sam Raimi trilogy, Spider-Man. So, enjoy.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes the Spider-Man. Is he strong? Listen, bud, he's got radioactive blood. Can he swing from a thread? Take a look overhead. Hey there goes the Spider-Man.
Usual, we start with more superhero movie narration with Peter Parker chasing a school bus because the driver is being a dick and not stopping for a student who clearly knew he was there. MJ makes the driver stop, and we then move settings to a science museum type field trip where we meet Harry Osborn and Norman Osborn, who banter more sciencey stuff, and we learn some information about the super spiders the facility is creating.
For example, the Delana spider, family Spiracidae, has the ability to jump to catch its prey. It spins an intricate funnel-shaped web whose strands have a tensile strength proportionately equal to the type of high-tension wire.
Thank you for giving us all information on Parker's powers that he's going to be getting throughout the movie. After Harry uses all of the smart things that Peter taught him to hit on MJ, Peter takes MJ's picture as the spider that will change his life drops down.
Ah, perfect.
Is that good?
Great. That's great.
MJ, let's go.
Wait. Thanks.
Are you going to alert anybody that you just got bit by a spider? No? Okay. We jump to Oscorp where we find out that if Norman does not get a human test correct on his performance enhancers, his project will be pulled. Back to Peter, who has just gotten home from the field trip not feeling like himself.
In this recombination lab, we use synthesized transfer RNA to clone an entirely new genome, combining the genetic information.
See? Told you should have told someone. Back to Oscorp, we see Osborn being a typical villain and choosing himself to be the human test subject for his enhancers, which doesn't end well for his assistant.
Back to formula.
The next morning, Peter wakes up noticing the changes within his physique, and after being a creepy window looker, he heads downstairs.
Goodness me.
I thought you were sick.
Got better.
On the way to school, Peter once again does not get the courage to say anything to MJ. As the school bus drives by him again, this time Peter actually is able to keep up with the bus until he pulls the banner off using his hand. Norman wakes up because of his assistance, and he learns of Dr. Strom's death. At school, Peter saves MJ from a slip in the cafeteria.
reflexes.
Okay, two things about that scene. One, Tobey Maguire himself is the one who did that scene. No effects, no special anything. That was all Tobey. And two, throughout the trilogy, I am going to be putting up a counter for every time Spider-Man saves Mary Jane. So with that slip on the floor, counting as a save, I'm going to start it at 1. Peter's new biological power, seeing as it was synthetic in the comics, activates for the first time, and Flash tries to fight him in the hallway. Unfortunately for Flash, Parker now knows how to fight.
Help him, Harry!
Which one? It's all yours, man.
That was a waste of pudding. Parker then leaves school since there's no security guards in movies and runs into an alleyway. After looking at a spider web, Parker decides to test things out and starts climbing up the wall. What follows next is the shittiest looking rubber CGI Parker jumping rooftops I've ever seen. It's then followed by Spider-Man's first swing.
Tally ho.
Parker goes home, and as he's taking out the trash, MJ storms out once again, arguing with her parents.
Were you listening to that?
No.
Everybody heard that shit, Mitch. The two have a heart-to-heart about their past.
Awesome in all the school plays.
You're giving me such a lady boner right now. Once he sees a wrestling ad, Parker chooses to sit and create a costume so he can make some money so he can impress MJ with a car. After web shooting practice, Uncle Ben takes Peter to the library, and they get into the typical "you're not my father, so stop acting like him" type of argument. We get Uncle Ben's famous line.
Doesn't give you the right to. Remember, with great power comes great responsibility.
It's time for some old school wrestling and Bruce Campbell's Sam Raimi cameo when we watch Peter climb into the ring with Bonesaw McGraw, played by the late great Macho Man Randy Savage. The point is for Peter to last at least 3 minutes with Bonesaw in the ring, which Peter uses his powers to pull out the wind. Of course, the owner does a screw job on Parker, as he only gets $100 for winning. A robber comes in as Peter leaves and robs the arena owner. Peter lets him get away, as Peter gives the owner the same line the owner gave him.
He stole the game! Stop that guy! Stop him! He's got my money!
Thanks.
What the hell's the matter with you? You let him go.
Cut him off in the lobby and call the cops.
You could have taken that guy apart. Now he's going to get away with my money.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
Touché, Parker. Touché. Parker leaves and sees a crowd forming outside. Peter finds out that his uncle has been shot, and after grieving, Peter takes it upon himself to chase the guy down, and after the guy crashes, Peter brutally beats the crap out of him in an abandoned building until he realizes who the thief was and that he could have saved his uncle. Through his own clumsiness, the thief falls to his death as Peter looks on. It's off to another test site where we are watching Oscorp's enemy company test a new machine until the Goblin makes his screen debut in destroying the facility. After Peter's graduation ceremony, Aunt May has a heart-to-heart with a teary-eyed Peter about living up to Ben's words, and then we cut to our movie's heroic deeds montage.
I see the web, and it's his signature. And I know Spider-Man was here.
The guy protects us, you know? He protects the people.
Some kind of freaky Lou or something. Wackadoo.
He stinks, and I don't like him. Don't move!
Guy with 8 hands. Sounds hot.
He has those tights and that tight little...
Dresses like a spider and he looks like a bug. Well, we should all just give him one big hug.
You ever notice New York is filled with weird people? At the Daily Bugle, we see J.K. Simmons' epic performance as Jameson, who puts out a cash reward for pictures of Spidey. Peter runs into MJ outside a diner, and he learns not only has she gotten nowhere in her acting career, but she has secretly been dating Harry. Peter lets Harry know he lost his job as Doc Connor's assistant, and sets out to find another job, which happens to be a photography job, as he stops an armed truck robbery and presents JJ photos of himself to the Bugle, and becomes a freelance photographer. At Oscorp, we watch Norman get fired from his own company.
I started this company. You know how much I sacrificed?
Damn, you got anger issues, dude. We then jump to a festival sponsored by Oscorp, where the Goblin decides he's going to crash it and kills board members as well as bombing the building MJ is on. Spider-Man knocks Goblin off his glider, and after saving a kid, the fight hits the streets for a little bit before taking up to the balloons. Boing yeep! Boing yeep! Boing yeep! After a little more fighting, Spidey rips a piece out of the glider and Goblin gets away. MJ is saved from her death. After taking her to safety, MJ learns who her savior is.
Who are you?
You know who I am.
I'm Batman.
We then see Norman Osborn arguing with himself in one of Dafoe's best scenes in the movie, where we learn that Norman has become two people and doesn't remember anything that he's done. The Goblin tries to convince Norman that they have to convince Spider-Man to join their team. Goblin then goes straight to the Bugle to get closer to Spidey, and when he shows up, Spidey is doused with sleeping gas, awakened to a taunting Goblin giving him his choice on joining forces or dying. His words leave an impact on our hero. Peter once again runs into MJ after an audition, and after another awkward conversation, they part ways only for Peter to watch the guys following her, and he follows them as he changes into his costume in order to be her hero. MJ then cheats on Harry with Spider-Man in one of the most iconic and memorable kisses on screen. My lady boner is happy again. A building is now on fire, and our hero saves a baby from death, only to find out that there's a person inside. Of course, it's a trap by Goblin, and the two fight over the proposition Goblin gave Spider-Man. Spider-Man gets cut in the process, and now it is Thanksgiving dinner, and Norman notices the cut on Peter's arm, and he deduces that Peter is Spidey. He excuses himself, insulting MJ in the process, and the Goblin then decides to take everything to a personal level by attacking Aunt May during prayer.
Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us.
Finish it! Finish it!
That's That's why I'm not religious. Peter learns that the Goblin knows who he is, and after many hospital visits, including a heart-to-heart from MJ, Peter tries to call MJ only to get the voice of Goblin tormenting him. MJ wakes up on the Brooklyn Bridge, and Goblin sets up an ultimatum that Peter cannot ignore. Either save a bunch of children from their deaths, or save the love of his life.
We are who we choose to be. Now choose!
Spidey, of course, saves both of them, but Goblin doesn't make it easy for him as his muscles begin to strain himself. The city of New York has Spider-Man's back as they pull a boat under our hero to help him, and they also start pelting Green Goblin with objects, giving him enough time to save everybody. Goblin, being furious, captures our hero and throws him into an abandoned building and starts beating the living shit out of him. It's not until the Goblin threatens MJ's life where Spider-Man starts fighting back. Goblin pleads with Spider-Man, acting as two people in order to try to set him up to remote control the glider. But Peter's spider sense saves the day.
His name was Ben Parker.
Godspeed, Spider-Man.
Oh.
Peter. Don't tell Harry.
The movie sums up everything by our hero bringing Norman home, starting Harry's hatred for Spider-Man. And our final scene is Norman's funeral, where Harry vows vengeance on Spider-Man, MJ announces her love for Peter, and dumbass Peter tells her he cannot be with her because of knowing it will endanger her.
Whatever life holds in store for me, I will never forget these words. With great power comes great responsibility. This is my gift, my curse. Who am I? I'm Spider-Man.
While this movie was mediocre or subpar or however you want to put it, it wasn't good, it wasn't bad. I like the movie. I've seen it countless times. Some people like it, some people don't. The rest of the trilogy, I barely ever hear good things for. With that being said, next week we're going to start... Hold on, let me get my phone. Unknown number. Hello?
This is Spider-Man. Is this the superhero quick talk?
Yeah, how'd you get this number?
I've heard that you've been talking to major shit.
I haven't been talking shit. What are you talking about? I've just been stating my opinion about your movie.
I'm gonna come over there. I'm gonna beat your face in my fists and webbings and.
Okay.
Bitch.
He hung up on me. Whatever that was, I'm your superhero critic. I'll stay super as long as you stay awesome. Join me next week for Spider-Man 2.